here. All right. So, kind of a wild topic, right? The 5%, the 0.01%. What the heck? So, this is about, of course, I'm going to speak from a personal perspective, but understand how to apply these things to yourself. This is about your uniqueness. Everybody likes to say they're one in a million, that they are, the term chosen. People like to call themselves that, you know. Um, People like to claim being unique. People like to claim their originality. What genuinely makes you authentic? So, by statistics, I took this information. I found this out afterward. I did not know that this was what the case was. Being a published author as a Black American woman puts you in the 5% of authorship. I did not know that. 5% of authors are Black women. So that puts me as an individual in the top 5%. Hey, everybody on Instagram, make sure you head over to YouTube so you can leave comments. I can respond to those. I can't really respond to the ones on Instagram, okay? And so when I found that out, I was like, okay. So considering even more statistics, I am the age that I am. I'm not even 30 years old yet. And also, there's like just several other factors that make the statistic go up and up and up to 0.01%. And so it's like, okay, knowing that I am in this particular statistic, what am I going to do with this information? So, considering that this, of course, is true, it's like I have to look at that as an opportunity to not capitalize on it, but more so understand the place that I'm in. That's such a small percentage of people in this particular space. I'm not a novelist. It's not fiction that I write. I can write fiction. However, my published works have been educational and nonfiction. So, therefore, it's like with great power comes great responsibility because I would have done it regardless. But now knowing that I'm in the 5% of people puts a different perspective of what it is I'm doing regardless. Millie Evans said, just turned 31. Is it snow outside, Ellie? It's not snow. However, my outfit was just looking good, and I was like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and just do my live. I haven't gone live in a couple of days. I've been doing like some things. I've been getting some things taken care of, and I happened to run errands early today, so I was like, I'll just keep the outfit on because I look cute. So, yeah, it's not snowing. It is cold. It is cold, so I was gonna wear my hat and my gloves, but snow, no. But yeah, understanding that there's levels to everything. So it's like being a Black American person, period, puts everybody at a different category. So when we're learning history in school, it's always, of course, you have the originator, you have the first whatever that they record in history, because you got to remember, like, patents are there for a reason. So even though the originator may not be documented properly, the originator of the patent, or the original of the patent, was gratitude for 3 viewers and 3 likes at 333. Yes, the one who gets the credit, they are the first whatever. Then you have Black people. It's always the first Black whatever, the first Black female whatever. So I'm a female and I'm Black. So that puts me in a different category than anyone else because of the disadvantages that are held by Black people. And whether people like to acknowledge that or not, because I notice as well, there is this huge misconception that a lot of people like to paint on. So, to put into perspective, my father was born right at the time that Dr. Martin Luther King was killed. So, that whole concept of, oh, Jim Crow and civil rights and slavery, they were so long ago. No, they weren't. That's not history. It's only history because it happened in the past. The context of it happening in the past is put out of context when discussed with people. And so that's the issue that comes with explaining things to people. So it's like, okay, first Black this. It's like, well, it's not a big deal. You can do whatever you want to do. Now, yes. Yes, we can. Now, Whereas before, the opportunity never was available. So me being, I'm not a first Black author by any means. I'm not a first Black female author by any means. However, because these opportunities were not available to our people for so long, and that hindrance was placed on our people for so many years, decades, and generations, writing in general, because reading and writing was illegal. Like, can we remember, please, that reading and writing for Black people, especially women, even white women, could not read and write. These things were illegal. So, when you have a society that's used to perpetuating these rhythms and these patterns of behavior, then you have people who break out of that pattern of behavior, and it's like, oh, okay, well, paying attention in a different type of way or acknowledgement of a different sort. And then you end up with statistics like, oh, well, you're in 5%. Now, I'm used to being in the top percentile of individuals regardless. Um, when I was going to public school, highest honors, not just like good grades, not honors classes, highest honors repeatedly, taking AP classes. And then once I got out of public school, I wasn't in AP, I was in dual enrollment. So I'm taking college courses at my college. Y'all give me a second. I always get calls. There's like the synchronicities that happen in my life are unmatched. I literally was talking about my dad and he just called me. So it's like, and then the last time, oh, gratitude for 4 years before likes. The last time that I got a call and it was my mom who called me, she was like, "Oh, I watched your video. You did such a good job. Sorry for interrupting." I'm like, "Mom, you're okay." The fact that my mom watches my channel now, it just really like, I'm like, oh my goodness, okay. But yeah. I just loved it. I love my life so much. Um, so like I was saying, in his generation and my dad's generation, women weren't doing things like making publications. And it gives it's like, okay, if a woman was going to write, she had like a diary, or she may write her own personal memoir, something to pass down to her children or share with her friends or church groups, like church. I don't care what nobody in the spiritual woke new age community be talking about. Church set the foundation for what Black people can do in society. So that was the whole thing. Then why churches were so important. Churches were main routes for the Underground Railroad. Churches help people learn how to read through the Bible. It's like, oh, I don't read the Bible, I this and that. Nigga, what are we talking about? The Bible is how a lot of us were even allowed to read. You couldn't read nothing unless it was the Bible. So it was a gateway. Christianity was a gateway. How are you supposed to know what a god or a goddess was unless you had the Bible coming out of slavery? There was no verbal understanding when you're talking about reading any sort of contextual. Oh, I read the Kemet and I read the Neter, Amun Ra. Like I read this. I read the ancient scrolls. I read the. You couldn't read shit as a slave unless it was the Bible. We did not have access back then. So understanding the pathway and the gateway, and being grateful for these paths that created the stepping stones. So what today, yeah, being self-educated, being able to have access to things. Of course, before we talk about the internet, like going to the library, having different texts available in schools, theology, and higher level learning, all those things were the pathway to get to the next point. So no, things were not going to be perfect back in the day. Oh, these things were set under pressure, like women who get upset with Black men for practicing patriarchy. Patriarchy was the only way to operate up until Now we're in a more understanding version of what matriarchy is. Matriarchy is not women being on top. Matriarchy is balance where the feminine is acknowledged properly. That's what it is. Patriarchy is when the masculine is put atop the feminine. So that's the difference. People think that, oh, well, matriarchy is just the opposite of patriarchy. No, matriarchy is the balance and correctness of society. And it's this misconstrued understanding of what feminism is, um, being there for people's rights and whatnot. It's like all those things get crossed and misunderstood when literacy is not properly explained. So when you're not explaining what literacy is and why, then those things tend to get very, very confused. So, we're talking about spirituality. We have these platforms where we're talking about New Age and this and that. And even with the Hebrew Israelites, I could talk about the Bible with the Hebrew Israelites and whatnot and not have that misunderstanding. But even with the Hebrew Israelites, there's this misunderstanding of feminine power. Oh, well, women this and women can't that, and women are below here and women are. It's not true. Are women less mentioned in the Bible? Yes, 100%. At the same time, when you have men in power, they were married. Yeshua wasn't married. He's married to the church. When you have men in power in the Bible, they were married. Having a woman by a man's side is something to respect. Single men do not get the same respect as married men, especially married men with children. If you see a man walking by himself, it's like, okay, that's a dude. But when you see a man walking with his family, it's a different level of respect. The popular phrase, behind every successful man is a powerful woman or a strong woman. That's because she's not just moral support, she's emotional support. Of course, taking care of the home, that type of support, and like this, just the weird things that people like to say is like, oh, well, if she doesn't cook or clean, I don't want her. Okay, well, if you have a certain net worth and she's the one organizing the home, if she hires people to do work, there is no problem. So I don't understand why people want to argue to make women do physical labor. If that's the way your home is, you only have one child, maybe a couple of pets or something, and your home is that size for her to do all the work, sure. But you're not going to sit up and make her clean up a 5-bedroom home if y'all can afford to have a house cleaner. Like that's the patriarchal mind not making sense. The matriarchal mind doesn't mind me being the stay-at-home wife, whether she works or not, whether she has her own business or she does what she does, works part-time, whatever. That's okay. But if the finances are there for her to have assistance with the home, there's no issue with that either. That's the matriarchal mind making sense of the situation rather than trying to keep a woman down. And that's this subconscious issue that a lot of men have where they try to keep women down intentionally. I was not intending to go this route on this topic today. I'm just talking about what is statistically true from my living perspective, but I guess it's necessary for people to understand that women are able to be part of conversations, part of movements, and part of leading in spaces where people are educated beyond what the norm is. So creating these spaces and understandings of society in totality, because that's what I do. I like to make things make all the way the most sense possible to where, yes, I do write for those on a more collegiate level. At the same time, the average everyday person can understand my writing. A child can understand my writing. So that's the perspective and way that I write. And take it for example, Ida B. Wells. So Ida B. Wells was writing and doing journalism to help during those time periods where it was mostly men on the front line. So she's writing, she's putting things into action, and she's making publications to let it be known, hey, this is what's going on. This is from our perspective. This is our community being able to communicate in whatever way that we need to communicate. And she was a woman. Putting those words together and articulating in such a way that she's remembered forever, making that mark. There's such a small percentage of Black women who do that. I don't think it's right. Because think about it. Think about it. Whose social media posts do you read the most? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Who was posting tweets? Who was tweeting tweets? Who was posting on X? Who's making these long ass Facebook posts? Who's making these long ass Instagram captions? Is it not women? I'm pretty sure the girlies are the ones with all the words. Make it personal. Who is more likely to send a long ass text message? Okay. Okay. So it's not that women can't write, it's the fact that women are not encouraged to make themselves feel important. So women have all these words to say, organizing them and putting them into a context where others can take the information in. That's not encouraged. Social media is encouraged, going viral is encouraged, but making a publication, even if it is fiction, right? No one has to just straight up be an educator. Letting a little girl know, a little Black girl know, your imagination is important enough to put on paper and to sell to other people or to share with other people. That is not encouraged in today's society. So the more that we encourage things like that, that is how we break the mold, this whole breaking out of the matrix thing. Okay, it starts one person at a time, one movement at a time. So if I encourage women to put their thoughts and their ideas onto paper and to go through the process of copywriting, publishing, and then printing, then that will assist and help in breaking that mold. It won't be some taboo situation where, because I'll be honest, I grew up with a lot of Black women authors, so it was normal to me. There was people who I went to church with and people that my mom was associated with, they had published books, so I was used to seeing Black women have printed on paper books. That was something that I was exposed to very, very young. I was at book signings and these different events for the women. So that was something that I would not have perceived to be such a small percentage. Being part of the 5% and it's in the literary space. Yo. And so, like I said, with my age, I'm not 30 years old yet. I'm not 29 yet. I'm not even 28 yet. So when I published my first book, at 25 years old, that put me in such a category that most people couldn't conceive, whether in their lifetime or even in a potential future lifetime. And that is because I am a Black woman. If I was any other type of, I'll just say, mixture, because I'm Black and woman. So if I wasn't Black, if I wasn't a woman, it wouldn't have been such a big deal. And then that statistic would be much greater. It'd probably be anywhere from 30% or 50%. It wouldn't be 5%. So that's crazy. Such a small percentage of individuals in this particular space are of my type. So it's to encourage, or it's like, what are you good at? What would you be at the top at? That is what you need to hone in on. Once I started writing and taking it more seriously, I was able to accomplish a lot more goals than I was previously. I like doing video content. I do enjoy doing my live streams. I do enjoy talking to you all in real time. At the same time, my true passion and gift is in written word. That's the truth. It's not something that I would prefer one over the other. It's more so of a thing of there are gifts that people have, and you just have to recognize what God wants you to do, whether in totality or most of the time. So I understand that most of the time I need to be behind the screen. Most of the time I need to be typing or have pen to paper. I understand that most of the time I can't come out in front of the camera and speak. However, that time of writing is what programs my brain. So, even going to the concept of literature and literary education in general, when you write things, you are programming yourself along with programming the reader if they're not reading from an objective point of view. But you are programming yourself. The more you write something, the more you are reinforcing it as truth. So that's why the Christian church has such a strong standing. You have centuries worth of programming, reading the same Bible, reading the same text, individuals writing the same text, individuals having notes of the same text, individuals having media created from the same text over and over again. It's the perfect form of programming. So then you take that same concept and you use that for your family. Okay, as a family, what are you intending to do? If you're single, what would you intend for your family to do? What would you like for your family to participate in? How would you like to raise your children? How would you like to be in a space with your other relatives? What does it look like to be in your family? So, I do talk about nuclear families and polygyny here on this channel. So it's like, what does the husband look like? What does the wife or wives look like? What do the children look like? What does the business look like? Because at the end of the day, you have to have a business. There is no living in this day and age without having your own business. That's not what it is in the United States of America. No. You can work a job, that's fine, but you have to have a business. It is the most important thing, to be honest, as far as living in this world right now. So, considering all those facts, what are you good at where you're in the top 10%? Straight up. What are you in the top 10% of? Okay. That for me is writing. For some other people, it could be, mathematics. It could be, and it doesn't have to just straight up be academic, it could be knowing things about herbology, um, or apothecary work, tech. You know every single spec that there is about every computer, every smartphone, every engineering. You can do cars very, very well, mechanic work. Like you're the best. Hone in on those gifts, talents, and abilities. Because we could be spiritual all we want, but when we don't apply our spiritual gifts to our real life, then that becomes an issue. Because then, me writing, right? That's being a scribe. And in a biblical sense, that's called being a scribe. I'm documenting and writing down what's happening in real time. That is being a scribe for the documentation and education of those who come in the future. That's very important. I could be super duper spiritual and woo woo about it and not do the publishing and the copyright work. No, I made an anthology of the work that I produced so that it could be shared at mass. That's not something that people are encouraged to do. People are encouraged to, like, I could just say all my thoughts on a screen, and that would make the integrity of my work be lost. That's how. Okay, even for example with Ida B. Wells. Okay, her stuff was journalism, so you had like newspaper articles and whatnot. She got ran out of town. You know, you have people who have social media platforms. They go live, they make videos, they make posts that get them targeted in certain ways. When you're publishing books, it takes such a long time for the writing, the publication process, and for people to read it enough to where it causes any sort of controversy if there is any. Okay, so taking that into consideration, A lot of these issues that a lot of people have, we've seen everybody go through these issues. A lot of these issues that people have where they no longer can continue their work would be either a lot slower or be prevented if it was in the form of written word, or if they just honed in directly on what it is they were gifted at. Because a lot of times people get removed from spaces because it is not where they're supposed to be, and they know it too. That is something that, whether it's content creators that you see every day, or individuals who are in different industries who are famous, but that's not the lane that they're supposed to be in. Like, for example, hey, everybody who's on Instagram, make sure you come over to YouTube so I can reply to your comments, okay? Um, we talked about in one of my previous streams how I did receive a letter from the president and I wanted the president to be in a film. I also requested for Beyonce and Blue Ivy to do the music in the film. So, with that, given the space that I'm in as far as literature, would it make sense for me to contact Beyonce and be like, hey, I want you to be in my film? No, absolutely not. If you know anything about Solange Knowles, Solange it's a digital library about Black artists, and she has like a whole situation going on where she partners with museums and everything. I can contact Solange to get my work involved with hers and potentially boop, 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 boop. Not gonna say nothing else. Do what makes sense. It would take years for even a slight bit of a response if I was to contact Beyonce's team directly. If I contact Beyonce and Jay-Z and be like, hey guys, can you please show them? No, that wouldn't make no sense. Considering that I am in literature and that is a direct lane that Solange is in, it would make sense for me to contact her. Because I really like what she's doing too. Y'all need to check it out. I love it. I love it. Because I'm just like, it's so quirky. I wanna go do that. I want to participate in what she has going on because it looks so much fun. Looks like so much fun. So has Solange done music? Yeah, she's done music. Is she just known for her music? Not necessarily. She's a great actress. She is amazing in fashion, very, very unique artistically. It's just Beyonce has the like music is her thing. Where, not to say that Beyonce is not multifaceted. I don't know her personally. I just know that she has dominated music because that's her lane. She is in the top percentile of women in music, or just music in general, not even just women in music. Beyonce is at the top when it comes to music. Solange, I can't say she's in the top percentile of literary work, but it looks like she's getting there. It looks like that's the direction that she's headed to. And I fully support that because it makes a lot of sense. She's here for archive work and preserving history for artists. And people like to neglect artists because it's like, oh, well, that's just for fun and that's not serious. That's not true. People reflect back on history through the art and the performances and the clothing wear of the times. When you think Harlem Renaissance, I automatically think about fedora. When you think roaring 20s, you think short dresses and finger waves. Okay, those are hairstylists and fashion designers. Okay, so it's like what you think may or may not be important is exactly what's important. Like the inventions of those time periods, what was invented during those time periods. When was that? The 1960s, when the TV first came out. People don't even barely use TVs anymore. People have TVs. People will use their televisions to just have ambiance, but that sitting in front of the TV thing, people scroll on their phones nowadays. The era of the smartphone coming into the 21st century and into the 2000s millennium. Yes, that's more high advanced, it's more tech, but then you have fashion, you have Y2K coming into the 2000s. Even the music. What did you just hear when I said taking over the 2000s? Like what are you thinking about with that time period coming into the 2000s? Exactly. That's art. So those things are highly important. And I really do think that Solange is in her lane with taking care of the history preservation and archival work of Black American people, because that's what people are going to look at. That's exactly what people are going to look at, especially when it comes to Black people. We're more praised for our art than our essential contributions to society. So it's like both are important. However, we're more recognized for things that are entertainment or fun than we are recognized for things that are necessary. So that is sorry. I just saw a text message. I got a new pet and I sent a video of me disciplining him. I'm just like, because they, little thing. He sat on my chair. I'm like, get down from my chair, and they're like, be nice to him. I'm like, you don't need to sit in my chair. But yeah, I love my pets. We just took him to the vet today. But anyway, um, it's just so funny. Everything's so funny. So not to get off topic too much and to talk about specific people. I have to use examples so you can fully grasp what it is I'm talking about. Find the lane that nobody can compete with you in. Okay, so I know people may have their thoughts and opinions on zodiac signs. I'm a Capricorn, I'm a Sagittarius cusp, but I lean very deeply into Capricorn. Capricorns are always outdoing ourselves. We're ourselves and we are going and doing the things that we are doing in our lane. Okay? So that whole like trying to find things that other people are doing and replicating it, that's not necessarily the Capricorn way. It's more so a thing of, okay, I did this last week, I did this last month, last year, 2 years ago, 10 years ago. How can I be even better? Hey, everybody on Instagram, please come over to YouTube. The information is in the pinned comment so I can reply to all the comments. Okay, I can't resist. I gotta read your comment though. Black Man's Keeper says, sis, I'm a Leo sun, Scorpio moon, Aries rising, in my Venus is Virgo. Oh yes. Like I said, people feel a way about zodiac sometimes, but it's like understanding your chart and how your personality is a great way to have like a foundation and then stepping stone into a new space, because it's very easy to get lost otherwise. So yes, find your lane, find your top percentage. And it's just like, okay, well, what if I'm not top 5% of whatever it is? It doesn't necessarily matter. See what it is you're good at. Do the statistics on it. We have AI now, a whole bunch of different AI tools. So you can figure out, okay, I'm talented here, I'm talented there. What percentage of people are doing what I'm doing, and where am I placed at academically? So come to find out, I just finished my essay series called Better Than Reparations. Y'all can look out for that very, very soon. Black Man's Keeper said, I have a lot of Capricorn and Virgo at my natal chart. TH, yes, I'm a Capricorn stellium. No, am I Aquarius stellium? I'm like competing Capricorn, Aquarius stellium, just Saturn everywhere. So when you're taking the time to really just analyze yourself, you can just hone in on those skills. With my essay series, I wrote a 60-page essay, and apparently I did not know this. I didn't know this until I started running myself through AI just so I could get an understanding of how my work would be perceived. Apparently, writing a 60-page work is doctoral at level. I did not know that. So in college, you have your undergrad writing, your associate's degrees and whatnot. You have your grad school, bachelor's and master's degrees. Then you have your doctoral programs. A dissertation for a doctoral program is the level of writing I'm at. I did not know that. I did not go to college, so I don't have like all the terminologies that academia uses in those specific literary spaces. At the same time, that does not stop my gift. That is what having a God-given gift is. You don't have to fit into specific norms in order to succeed in those areas. I'm already a published author. I don't need to know that information to know that I'm a good writer, to know that I'm an efficient writer, to know that I'm a proficient writer, not I'm just word babbling. I'm good with my grammar. I'm good with my flow. I'm good at not repeating myself too often. I'm good at repetition and consistency for the reader to understand the concept, but I'm not repeating the exact same words all the time. Okay. I have a flow with my writing. That is something that I don't need to go to college to be good at. I'm already good at it. And if I decide to get a degree, I'll just be that much greater type situation. You know what I mean? Because I took English class in my dual enrollment classes, and that was my favorite class, aced it. You can't tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. And that is what paying attention to your gifts does for you. It makes everything that you do in that specific space easier. I have on gloves. I love that. Black Man's Keeper said, I believe my North Node is in Aquarius or my South Node. Um, yeah, the way you articulate yourself is immaculate. I appreciate you so much. No. I sent you a message too. I do want to like catch up. I've been off social, so I'm just like, yeah. I'm only doing this so I could get my YouTube up. That's why I said, I love you, so I'm going to read your comments. It's not that I don't love everybody on Instagram. It's just y'all know how it is. Y'all understand. My YouTube memberships and stuff like that. I have to engage with the platform, or else YouTube's gonna take them away. So that's the only reason I'm up here right now. Otherwise, no, everything will be phone call and text message. I'm not even no. I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, get your algorithm back aligned. Yeah, algorithm, or it's just me participating with the platform, so they don't take away my stuff for the people who actually pay to watch my other content. So that's really what it is. I have to do the public stuff and the private stuff at just to keep that open and running. Okay. Sean Raw 999 said, great, keep pushing toward keep pushing forward, Queen. Peace, love, and light to you. Much gratitude. Really appreciate that. Okay. All right, I'm sorry. Everybody on Instagram, please come to YouTube. I can't keep going back and forth. I'm start tripping. Web Wortman said, hey, what's good, Web Wortman? Much gratitude for being a trillionaire entity. And I'm really, really happy to see you over here. Everybody on Instagram, please come to YouTube because I'm gonna start tripping in a second. Okay. But yes. When you hone in on your gifts, you're gonna find out you're better than people who is okay. Also understand too, money is an illusion. Money is an illusion of the matrix. So yes, having finances is important. Having the finances provides you with what you need in life. Yes. At the same time, when you do what you're supposed to do, things will happen for you, whether you have the money or not. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, where if you are taking the responsibilities necessary for you to master, craft, and really develop and mold your gift, then you're able to produce the finances later. It's an understanding of delayed gratification. When people are in manifestation spaces, it's easy to get wrapped up in I'm going to get it now. I'm going to get it in the specific time slot, time period that I want. And that's just not the truth. Much gratitude for the 7 viewers and 7 likes. Yay. That's not the case. It can be the case. This is the thing. It's not to say that never happens and that it will never happen. It's the fact that most of the time you have to go by God's timing. Or what we're not going to do is be spiritual and completely omit God from our lives. Like that's what a lot of people like to do. The higher power, whatever name you call the higher power, is in full control regardless of anything. And so taking all those concepts, understanding what did the higher power give you, because then we make it even more metaphysical. Go back to the Akashic records. What contract did you sign before you came here? What did you come here? What type of assignment were you here to fulfill? That's going to help you understand what your gift is or what your gifts are. So being the best in the lane that you were born to be in. It's by no coincidence that I'm in like I said, I'm top 5% in that particular space of being a Black American female author. And then considering my age, it puts me in the top top 0.01%. That's a percentile that you are in somewhere. You are in that percentile somewhere if you do something that you enjoy doing and that you are good at. Sometimes we do things that we're not the best at. That's okay. But understanding that you really, really need to do the thing that you're good at so that you can be above average, so that you can make the most impact. So that is where I'm letting it be known. Okay, the money itself isn't as important as the impact. So if you do something and you do your services or your work completely free because you want it to be, you have a nonprofit organization or something. Not to say that you can't make money with a nonprofit. That's a misconception as well. You can charge money with a nonprofit. However, most services of nonprofit organizations are free. If that is your main and sole focus and your target audience is people who can't afford, whether you're talking about children, the youth, um, disenfranchised individuals or homeless people, whatever your target is, if they can't afford certain things and you're doing things for free, what would you do that you won't even charge money for? There's plenty of work that I've done in writing that's free. I love writing. Writing is my thing, and I've done it for free. And now I'm in the space of doing it where I'm charging people. So get out, please. Hey, excuse me. Hey, hey, can you please get out? Because that's making noise and it's going to provide feedback on my thing. Can you get out, please? Yeah, but like, it was in my foot. Can you turn it down? Thank you. So, being in that lane of being above average, that's your leverage as well. Because it's like, okay, well, we're competing and it's unfair in these systems and it's this and that. Okay, your gift and your talent is your disadvantage. That's your leverage. That's how you disadvantage others. It's your advantage. So take full advantage of your advantage and use that to the disadvantage of others, not to hurt others. It's just if it's a competition, you want to win. If there's a finish line, you want to get there first. So don't utilize your gift as something that isn't as special as it is, because it's special. We're in a space of, we're coming out of that whole thing. Where what time period was that? Where it's like the participation trophies. We're coming out of the participation trophy era. Thank goodness, because everybody doesn't deserve a trophy. I get it. You might get a participation ribbon or a certificate, but like feeling gratified just for being there, no, you can't be on the same level as everybody if you didn't put in the same amount of work. What do I look like entering a weightlifting competition and getting a trophy for being there? I'm not a weightlifter. I'm not a lifter. Like, what? I'll body somebody in speed walking. I will body you in speed walking. But I'm not gonna lift any weights. I'll do some pull-ups. I'm not in the top percentile of pull-ups though. Like, I'm not gonna kid myself and enter a real competition of doing pull-ups. I know what my strengths are. I know what it is I'm good at. I know where I'm at. I'm real with myself. So be real with yourself. And don't let anybody gaslight you too. That's another thing. I think this is probably the biggest part of it. Don't let anybody gaslight you into thinking that you're not as good as you are. If you're able to do something over and over and over again in a unique way every single time, and it's not just the same thing over and over again and being bland, some of y'all need to stop being content creators. You suck. Some of you need to focus on music. Some of you need to focus on nails, hair. Some of you need to focus on shoe design. Some of you need to focus on animation. Some of you need to focus on, gosh darn it, pottery, candle making. You suck at content creation with this format. There's people who are speakers. A lot of y'all are not speakers. You're visual. You need to get your craft, make the videos, and take the pictures of it. Stop talking because you sound dumb. Get out. Get out. You're too loud. You're making noise and stuff. Get out. I'm almost done. You suck. But don't let anybody gaslight you into thinking that you're bad at the thing you're good at. Like, Them copper wraps. Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah. You make your coin with that jewelry. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Those frequency plays. Oh, absolutely. Heck yeah. You do great. It's very, very healing, very entertaining. Love it. Love it. Got my whole body moving. Oh, you do wood shop and you made a table? Man, after you did that stain, boy. Okay. Can't nobody tell you nothing. You can't tell me that that wasn't made at a department store and on display in the main part of the store. And you did it by hand. Chopped down the tree and everything. That's what I'm talking about. Don't let anybody gaslight you into thinking that the thing that you do effortlessly or consistently without being provoked isn't the thing that's for you. So it's like if you're not at skill, like it's a, developing a skill is different from being gifted. You can be gifted at something just like how I'm gifted in writing and I can say the words that I'm trying to articulate in a text or whatnot. I still had to learn grammar. And I still had to learn citation if I'm doing research. I still had to learn how to do the things that are necessary in order to progress to the next level. I'm gifted here, but I developed my skills. Much gratitude to King Sage for becoming a six-figure angel. What's up? That's great. But yeah, y'all get your memberships so you can get access to all of the virtual business meetings, and then I have to name them something different now. But the new videos that are coming for our members exclusively. Now, if y'all didn't hear, because this is my, oh my gosh, this is my jam. So the whole thing with the DEI funding getting removed, guess who just got their funding back? The Institute of Museum and Library Services. So I sent them a letter along with the civil rights, the National Civil Rights Museum, when I sent the letter to the president, right? And I was like, okay, I'm going to help spread awareness. I'm going to help like what y'all got going on. There was like donations that were taken, and then there was like petitions being done by different politicians. I helped spread the narrative. They got their money back, yo. They got their funding back. So now, like, because they did $266 million in funding in 2024. So they haven't had that same amount of funding to be given out and shared in grants in 2025 because their funding was taken away federally. They just got their funding back. So I'm super duper excited about that. Much gratitude to the forces that allow for that to happen. At the same time, we all as a collective cannot be caught slipping like that again. So the DEI to ESG stratagem, I just made that video. So go ahead and take a look at that particular one. Everybody who gets your memberships after this point, it will be available there, along with the virtual business meeting, so you can ground your spirituality and make everything realistic for you to take your next steps forward. King says have one love. Yeah. All right. So yes, figure out what it is you are good at, what you like to do, of course, because don't do something that you despise. It's like, okay, for example, I'm good at certain things graphically. I can make pretty good graphics in different arenas and spaces digitally. I don't enjoy doing it all the time. I'm good at it, and I use my ability in the things I'm passionate about. So for my website, for my family website, for, as a favor, if I'm doing something with someone, I'll do the graphics for it. But I am not going to go out of my way to make a business doing graphic design. Writing, totally different. Heck yeah. Second book published now. What are you talking about? Like, I will write. I just finished a 60 plus page essay series. Like, no, I'm going to write, and I enjoy writing. I have made a business out of writing through essays and authorship of traditional book publishing. So that's the difference. Don't do the thing that you don't enjoy doing full time. Do the thing that you enjoy doing full time, so that way you can monetize it and have a good time with it simultaneously. So can you say, so you're in Memphis, correct? I'm from Memphis. I float around. So, I'd be in the South for sure. I'd be in the South. So, like we talked about with the Digital Delta area, that covers Arkansas, that covers Mississippi, and that covers Tennessee as well. So, if you look at where my business is located, yeah, that's where I'm at. So, yes, super duper excited about just everything in general that we've discussed today, but in particular, being able to share that you can hone in on whatever it is you're doing. So this is where manifestation comes in. Like, being spiritual will help. If you're unsure about what your actual gifts and talents are, that's when you do go into meditation for the motivation. Yeah. And you get the motivation to figure out who it is you are, what your purpose is, figure out your gifts and talents within a space, and then just hone in on that. I do music. Am I honing in on music? Mm-mm. I can do it. I will do it. I have done it. That's not my main focus. Even with writing, doing lyrics, I'm fantastic at lyrics. All the music all together, that's not my biggest gift. Mm-mm. I'm good. I'm just slam. Like, this is the truth. I'm not okay. I wrote poetry. So with me writing, song lyrics and then writing poetry, I'm a good writer all around, not just like uh long text like books or novels or whatever, essays. I'm good at short works, things that are entertainment. So what my poem that I recited and performed at the Harriet Performing Arts Center for Juneteenth, I was introduced by the radio show host who was emceeing our event. This man said that I should be on BET. I'm like, stop making me up like that. Like, it's just, do I believe it's possible? Yes. It's just the fact I wasn't ready to hear that at the time. And I'm like, bro, chill out, calm down. I wasn't ready for all that. I was expecting an introduction, just the regular situation that it was, because my family was the one hosting the event, overall. So I'm expecting to be, oh, this is one of the main hosts, this is one of the coordinators. Like, no, heck no, talking about she needs to be on BET. I'm like, hey, man. Yo, I was not expecting that. Oh, I really wasn't. So it's like stuff like that too. Accept your flowers when you get them. That I got that. That's something I have to work on. Accept your flowers when you get them. So it's like I could be on BET, because the thing is, the poem itself is very, very powerful. Let me see if I can play it for y'all. Can I do it on here? It's just a clip. This is the part that was mentioned on the podcast. So if you guys want to listen to the podcast, you can go to my family website and listen to the podcast. But they did this clip on the podcast.
There are more of us. We just gotta find them.
For Tierra, Philip Hatley's story even connects family members with those who have already passed on. It's an idea she's explored in her writings, like this poem.
This is my ancestry. This is what I'm about. My bloodline, Philip Hatley and Willie Mae, my great-grandparents, speaking their dismay.
Her own generation.
And now my lineage. We are descendants. We held on to the truth, and now we're reaping benefits. The restitution of the truth is uncovered. We're a silenced family line. We're vindicated. We're discovered.
And will be important for healing the generations to come.
This his story. What was her story? We can find out as we gain clarity. Don't worry, Willie Mae. Healing your dismay. I'm gonna channel it from the heart waves.
Okay, so like I said, we're spiritual in real life. I am channeling from the other side using mediumship in my poetry and in my essay. Don't let your spirituality get discredited just because you're rejoining the matrix in whatever context. Everybody needs more spirituality nowadays. The Great Awakening has already happened. We're not going to sit up here and act like everything's fake. No. If curses can be real, that's the thing that gets me about Christians. If curses can be real, generational curses, if demons can be real, and demonic attacks and all this stuff, everything on the opposite end that's positive is also real. I'm telling you, Christians begin me with that one. It's like they believe in all the negative parts, but they don't like to believe or encourage the positive parts if it's not specifically God doing something. God utilizes every living being for his will. So if the devil can use negative forces, God can use positive forces. But yes, that is the part of the poem that's on the podcast. So if you want to listen to the entire podcast, you can, but that's the part where my poem was. So really happy about that. Y'all can go to philiphatley.org, Philip with 2 L's. That's too funny because it's like, you go to my Instagram, Real Talk with Ellie, Talk with 2Ks. Make sure you go to philiphatley.org, Philip with 2 L's, because that was a misspelling that would happen with all the publications and everything that would happen back when he was murdered back in 1939. So it was just his name getting misspelled all the time. So that's why I said that. But yes, that is my writing is being highlighted. You know what I'm saying? Like if you are in the top percentile of something, people already know that. That's why, like I said, don't let anybody gaslight you out of what it is you're good at. Okay? Because the other people who are not gaslighting you, they know that you're good at it. They know you're amazing at it. They know that you're in a high percentile. It's just the people who are around you are a reverberating echo chamber. So if that echo chamber is not there to encourage you, it's there to discourage you. A lot of people don't do it intentionally. Gratitude win for all the fire. A lot of people don't do it intentionally. That's the sad part. They think they're doing something good, or they're doing something to protect you. They're doing something just out of habit. You know, they know they're not doing something good by telling you some discouraging words. They know that they're not doing good there. At the same time, they don't consciously know how detrimental it is. They know they're being an asshole. They know that for a fact. But if you visually describe what happens when someone is discouraged, it's like in the spirit realm, someone's getting a sword and just slicing a person and they're bleeding out. That's what happens with discouraging and negative words. That's exactly how it is. That's exactly what it is. And the more that people understand that, the more positivity that will be shared. But people don't think it's that serious. So like the phrase, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's a lie. It's easier to heal from sticks and stones getting thrown at you than words hurting you. If those words are coming from your mother, your father, your grandparent, another respected relative in your family, your teacher, if those words are coming from a pastor, anyone who's highly respected in religion, your baba, your spiritual teacher, if those words come from a certain source, they hurt way more than getting a book thrown at you. That hurts way more because of the source of the words. So, no, that saying is really not true. Words will never hurt me. Nigga, what? People will remember words for a lifetime. People will remember the way you make them feel with what you said for a lifetime. So you have to be very careful with the things that you say as well. Things how you say things to yourself. And have you taken the opportunity to discourage somebody from their gift? Have you done that bullshit? You have to check yourself. We're all about self-accountability over here. Before we can get to this and that and group accountability, you have to have self-accountability. Have you ever discouraged somebody from doing something that they wanted to do? I remember I said this to the individual. It's a girl I grew up with. She said she wanted to go to the army. All the time we were little, she said she wanted to go to the army. And I was like, I'm not sure if that's for you. We grow up, we're adults now, went to the army. I was like, oh, well, I'll be damned. That's me for not even judging. It's just, not understanding this particular person's life path. It's not my life path, so it's not none of my fucking business. It is what it is. Now that I understand the system, okay, people go here and they do these things for this particular type of lifestyle, and then it creates this type of ease, and it creates this type of navigation in life. Okay, now I understand. I didn't think that way because I didn't grow up that way, so I would not have had that understanding in that particular sense. So what the fuck does my opinion matter in that context? Okay, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense coming from there. All right then. But yes, I'm in the top percentile of what I'm doing. What are you in the top percentile of what you are doing? Does anybody have any comments or questions or anything? And hey, everybody on Instagram, make sure you come to YouTube to leave your comments so I can reply to them, okay? But yeah, does anybody have anything that they want to leave in the comment section before I go? I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Yes, I'm super excited. I'm just like, and then there's some tea. So let me talk about a little bit of tea. Somebody got in my DM and I left them on red because y'all know how I am. I will leave your ass on red on Instagram if you say something that I don't like. So they were like, they're noticing I'm posting again and stuff. They're like, oh, you're back, where you been? I was like, I mentioned in my stream. Go watch my stream if you want to, have more context, because I'm not finna send everybody 52 messages of the exact same thing. That's why I'm doing the streams in the way that I am. And dude was like, oh, okay, I see you say you only are here because of your members, and what about your followers, or what about the da-da-da-da-da? And I'm like, this is exactly why I left, because you didn't even listen to the entire video, and you're coming to me asking me questions, and I've already answered the questions you're asking. Right now, I am making sure that things stay good for my members on YouTube. I'm really not supposed to be back on social media until 2026. I'm not trying to come back. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. This is because of YouTube policy. YouTube said you have to follow these rules and guidelines for your account to stay active the way that it is. I'm tired of niggas. I'm tired of people. And that type of message is exactly why I'm not on social media right now. Just left them on red. Because I'm not gonna have a conversation with you. I've gone live multiple times for hours at a time explaining what I've been doing off of camera. Do you think that I really want to take the time out to talk about things that I know no one's going to get or understand right now? That's why I have the member section the way that I do. The member section is for people to come back to so that they can gain a better understanding of the things I'm saying right now that won't apply until the next 3, 4, 5 years. People who get memberships on YouTube and people who get subscriptions on Instagram are time traveling because I've taken information from the future and brought it to the present. That is why I have them open. People who have the free content aren't grateful because that information I shared was free. Talking about myself personally, talking about, well, what about your followers? What about? So all the shit I did over the years, you don't need me. That's the part that I don't be understanding. As a follower on social media, you do not need me. You don't need anybody. All you need is yourself. I wasn't on social media at all. Fuck an influencer. I didn't need an influencer in my daily life to watch on a screen for me to function in my day. So if you need an influencer on your screen to function in your day, that's a you problem, not a me problem. It's not mine. That's not my problem. That's just not my problem. So yeah, I left them on red because I'm like, I thoroughly explained the situation. I have real life things going on. I just finished a 60-page essay series. I just got a letter back from the president. I'm sending messages to Elon Musk. I'm contacting politicians, sending letters to all these organizations, participating in these community meetings. What's me sitting online talking to y'all going to do? What's it actually going to do? That's the part. That's the part. Like, as viewers, oh my goodness, a lot of consumers of social media are so, y'all are the problem. A lot of y'all are the problem. and just to add insult to injury, I don't think that person has ever contributed to me financially. So it's like, you're gonna ask me to stay active on my social media and you're not even paying me. I'm just saying, I don't understand the obligation and the entitledness of a lot of viewers. I do not understand that. I don't understand it. You're going to sit and watch a person for free on the internet and expect them to behave a certain way just because you want them to. Okay. No, Win, I'm serious. It's hilarious, but it's so sad. It's the saddest thing. Like, why y'all, like, my thing is, I'm the type of person, I would not have even entered somebody's DMs until I watched the full video. Like, why you gonna watch the first 5 minutes of the video and then still ask for some shit? What's wrong with you? There's a reason the stream is an hour long. There's a lot of information in it. Short attention. I have the analytics of my channel. I can show you my analytics. Most of y'all only watch about 5-10 minutes of videos anyway. So I like to do the longer form content. I usually do, I do more than 30 minutes. I do roughly 45 minutes to about an hour worth of content, sometimes an hour and a half. We're getting really juicy. I do 2 hours. Y'all know this. Most people don't watch that long. Not a long enough attention span. What I'm talking about is too important and too profound to keep someone with a short attention span's attention. That's also why I prefer to talk to everybody on YouTube rather than talk to everybody on Instagram. Like, my views on Instagram go in and out, in and out, in and out. My views on YouTube stay rather consistent when I'm live. So if that's happening while I'm live, I already know it's happening when I get off. I'm just being smart about it. But yeah, if no one else has any more comments, some more tea. Not me, but somebody else. So essays are going viral. There's this girl, she's suing her school because she got a 0 for her essay. Mind you, it's about Christianity, right? So I finished my my last essay and I sent it to some people today, and then I see that the girl's going viral about her essay today too. I'm like, oh, okay, what's going on? Apparently, it is a conspiracy because of the dynamic of the situation. She's trying to claim not procrastination. That's funny. She's trying to claim discrimination and prosecution because she's a Christian, and that's why she got a 0 on her paper. But when you read the paper, it's really like, oh, no, this really is just poorly written. Like, what do you mean you're a junior in college and this is what you turned in as an essay? It's like, I really felt away. I was like, essays are going viral? When has anyone cared about an essay? So I was just like, okay, well, that could just be the confirmation. I'm gonna go ahead and go, y'all. That's another confirmation. I'll see you in the next one. Tawada. And that means thank you in Hebrew.